Hi crypto community, it's Eugene again with the survey, a weekly survey regarding DeFi news this week. So traditionally we cover several blocks in the news issue, and that's why the first one is dedicated to the state regulation, and this is a traditional block inside our weekly survey. And of course this is very important because we can't avoid it, so this is something that we have to deal with. But on the other hand, we have found with our team the answer to what it really is and why it's not that relevant to the DeFi sector. So I'm going to show you now this article. So the second block is related to the traditional finance sector, banking sector, which pays more and more attention not only to Bitcoin but to DeFi sector, so which is remarkable and especially interesting for us when it comes to Swiss banks. We know that Swiss banks are standing outside the rest of the banking system, and they are pioneers in their banking sector. And the third one will be related to so-called Ethereum killers. We will be talking about Cardano and Solana networks and their possible future DeFi solutions, and because they are of course looking at the DeFi sector as well. So if last time a week ago we spoke about infrastructure DeFi projects which were not well known, but now we're gonna focus on the well-known blockchains which stand a little bit outside of the system, but still they are in top 20, and of course they need to be paid attention. They have their infrastructure. So this is what we're gonna focus now at our news survey. So let's go. This news is related to state regulations, and another commissioner. So we spoke about the commissioner last week. So this week we have another commissioner who calls into question the legality of DeFi sector. So here it is described in detail what DeFi is and what risks it brings. So that's the question of legality and investor safety. Of course, they take care about us as investors so that we are so silly and can invest to the projects and which is not regulated by the government and government institutions, and of course lose their money instead of investing to something that is checked, that is traditional, which is audited and so on from their perspective. And of course they have noted that the DeFi sector is competing with the classical finance sector, allowing and offering the better options and the better conditions to the market, and thus the traditional platforms like Binance or Coinbase can't compete with it. So this is the issue. And another one that IRS, it's a tax office in the United States, if you don't know. So they are claiming that trading on Telegram is illegal as well and can be dangerous. So in brief, they're using, in brief, it's saying that the criminals are using crypto and all P2P platforms using criminal money, which is not good. And Telegram is one of the platforms like peer-to-peer exchanges that operate and connect people. So of course for them this is a threat, and of course they are struggling to control that. They're struggling to compete with this sector, and in the end, what's interesting, so they are asking for more finance from the budget, so that to strengthen their control over P2P and decentralized exchanges platforms. So that's their intention. But let's look at the other side, from the business side. So this is the article that the interview from one of the most interesting and one of the richest people, Mark Cuban. He's the billionaire and the owner of Dallas Mavericks. So he is expressing his attitude to DeFi sector, and it's very notable for us because we see the businessman's opinion on the market and what it really is. So I think that the title is a little bit clickbaiting, why banks should be scared by DeFi projects like AAVE or MATIC from Polygon. So what he says about MATIC and AAVE. So Polygon is simple business, but it's very hard to execute. So it is providing the tools that enable the transactions on the Ethereum smart contracts. We know that already. But primarily by outside parties. So that means outside of the US. And what's more important from the businessman, so it's that it's highly effective. So this business model, innovative business model, is highly effective. They are just bringing more money and more money than spent. So that's the point of the whole business, of any business, to earn more money than spent. So to be profitable, to have income. So that's the whole point of any business. So, and he looks at that business as a businessman. And another point about AAVE, they can make a fortune for their depositors, so lots of money, and token holders become their overheads versus their revenue in minuscule. So automated financial market makers are so much capital and operationally efficient than similar traditional companies. So that's the whole idea. So he says banks should be scared, but the whole idea, the key idea, is that DeFi business is more efficient than traditional business from the point of view of capital and operations. So 2 points. Yield farming via staking and liquidity providing are core feature of the most, if not all, decentralized finance projects. So we know that. It's good that he claims that and notes that. Then another one, another interesting idea is that he sees the difference between centralized business and decentralized business. Organizations don't require such capital for operations, and the capital, the money in the traditional sense, need to be collected by big investors. So this is not required in liquidity provision model, where the capital is attracted by good terms, and it's given from the crowd. So that's the very important and critical. And the third thing is infrastructure. Miners on proof of work or validators on proof of stake protocols, they provide infrastructure to the business. So let's sum up his opinion. As a businessman, he looks at the 3 factors. The one is the capital, the second is management, organizations, and the third is infrastructure. So those 3 items are considered by him. So, and all those 3 items are successfully resolved from the businessman point of view. So the infrastructure is provided by miners and validators. The capital provided is by liquidity providers. So we don't need a big investor. We just raise the protocol and start it. And the management is done by decentralized autonomous organizations or by community model. So those 3 factors that makes DeFi business as a business really successful. That's what matters to me. And of course, finally, we get the answer to US regulations, so what we have already discussed in the end. So those types of organizations is very different, and they are not based in the USA, so they let them go outside the USA, and those silly regulations just add to it. So it's absolute stupidity that, as he said, that regulators are forcing to come the most impactful and innovating entrepreneurs of this generation to foreign countries and run their business outside the US. So that's the answer to the first two news that I have declared to you, and of course I personally share that completely. Another interesting thing is regarding the classical finance world, and Swiss banks are pioneers, of course, and they plan to make decentralized finance deeper. We know that a couple of weeks ago I gave you the news about the banks listing DeFi coins, DeFi tokens. So now they go deeper and look at that in more details, which will add. Of course, they are mostly focused on USDC, Uniswap, Synthetics, Maker, Curve, Aragon, AAVE, 1 inch, which that's remarkable. And you see no USDT but USDC. So that's what they state, and what's their RAM. Of course, that will cause leap in value, so grow in capitalization. And of course, they see it as democratization of finance sphere. So DeFi in long-term goal is to democratize finance by making financial services universally available, but by using blockchain and removing intermediaries. So that's what we were talking about from the very first lecture at our seminars. So that's it. It's very interesting. It's very remarkable for us. So let's go further. Another funny news, that a bug in the blockchain sector and in a DeFi project can lead to scam, but reverted scam, as we can call it. So that the users could get their money, which they don't get, that they shouldn't have got. So 2,000 Ethereum, which is equal now almost to $5 million, were leaped back to users from the platform because of the bug. Of course, that was a small scandal in that community, and so the users got blocked Ethereum and took their money back, which was given to the lending platform. So that's the problem, and that's interesting for us to know that we need to check every DeFi project how secure it is, because compared to standard websites, standard decentralized systems, you can't simply change or fix the bug in the decentralized system, in smart contract, in short. The next exploring news from Cointelegraph is that DeFi will bring global revolution to the traditional finance space. So I'm not going to read all the aspects. So the most interesting to me is why will DeFi dominate in the globe. So this is one of the interesting things, and the most important abstract is related to important to me. Of course, you can read it from your angle. So that decentralized finance will be advanced by artificial intelligence. So we will see that that burst of DeFi activity later this year. So let's remember that aspect and follow it in future in the end of the year. So it means that we need to pay attention to DeFi projects which focus on artificial and involve artificial intelligence. So that's the forecast, the most important forecast from that article, personally to me, that I'm sharing with you now. So another thing, to be honest, I didn't understand fully what is uniting DeFi and NFT, because by nature those phenomena are quite different, because DeFi is a smart contract based protocols which lock the money on your wallet and trade from your wallet, and to do some lending operations, liquidity provision operations. And NFT is a sort of unique tokens, so in simple words. So, but what is uniting them together and put them is especially powerful? So we know that NFT is very powerful, and the answer is in this article. So we know that NFT allows owners to redeem their assets into physical objects, so connection to the physical world. For example, you can buy NFT and thus buying a real physical object or product. And NFT marketplace facilitates the participants to establish a connection between multiple networks. So that's the power of NFT. But if we add DeFi system, so it's smart contract locking system in DeFi, that will be the future of e-commerce. So that's the key point. So I think, and this article gives us that answer, that NFT plus DeFi in future will make e-commerce completely different and put it on the next level. So we know that last year e-commerce bursted for the reason of pandemic, COVID regulations in all the countries, and another burst of e-commerce can be done by DeFi and NFT. So NFT is blocking the real object, real products, and DeFi is the method of trading. So that's very exciting and fascinating news when I'm looking at it and thinking of it for future. So let's move to more practical things like Solana. Solana is presenting Solanax or Solanax. I don't know how to say it correctly, for redefining the DeFi sector. So that's why they want to change the DeFi sector on their own way. So you can read about this in the article. So, and go to the website where they present their platform. So let's look at the roadmap quite briefly. So this is the roadmap. Where is the roadmap? Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's here. So now they're just starting the platform early in Q3 this year, and officially launch. Then in Q3 they are doing swapping and liquidity launch, integration through Ethereum network, and listing on exchanges. So that's very ambitious. And in the end of the year, in Q4, they do cross-chain integrations, decentralized auction protocol, and prediction markets. So this is quite an exciting roadmap, and if they fulfill it, that would be very, very beneficial for them and for everyone, assuming that Solana is not only not in the third 100 but on top 20. So that makes it really interesting. Then ADA, is Cardano token and coin, and that's make it. They are one, of course, on the top coins listed everywhere. So, and of course they need to step into DeFi market. So here you can read quite much about the history of Cardano. So compared to Ethereum, I like in them that they are not that ambitious, and they don't throw out some loud announcements. They just do their work, and if they do that successfully, that's also might be an interesting point. So, but what we are interested in is what Cardano really does on DeFi sector, and so their promise again to introduce NFT marketplaces, DEXs, so again NFT plus DeFi, and let's see what they get and what they achieve in future. So of course they are focused on African projects, which is of course very interesting, especially after the news about Salvador legalizing Bitcoin. So let's watch over Cardano, Solanax projects, and we'll see what they do in the end of the year. So those are the highlights of the most important news this week. Thanks for watching this news survey. Thank you. Bye bye.